What's going on, guys? Today we're going to find out how good a 2025 NHL trade deadline team is. Obviously, a ton of moves at this trade deadline was probably like the craziest trade deadline of at least the last decade, maybe longer than that. I honestly can't remember one that had this many good players getting moved. So honestly, the team we're able to build is pretty impressive. Decided to go with the Hartford Whalers here. 89 overall, actually puts them as the highest rated team in the Metro. I figured it'd be kind of fun to use Hartford as after Carolina traded away Rantanen. Maybe they're going to have to move back to Hartford. Their fans are going to be so upset. Obviously, I'm just kidding, Canes fans. Okay, too mad at me. Obviously, guys, settings here, just all the normal stuff. And now talking to our coach here, guys, he thinks we'll be a playoff team, which I mean, we should be. We're the highest rated team in the Metro, as I mentioned. And now next year, guys, I'll finally show you what this team is looking like. As I mentioned, tons of good players moved at the deadline. So we got a pretty stacked team here. First line, you got Brad Marchand, Brock Nelson, and of course, Mikko Rantanen leading the way. 94 overall player. I've been making these trade deadline teams for a while now. We never had a player this good. So hopefully he can lead the way. Behind him, you got Cousins, Norris, kind of funny. The two guys trade for each other. Also, Middlestat there, reunited with Dylan Cousins. Third line, you got Bjorkstrand there playing with Charlie Coyle. Logan Stankoven, a little bit lower rated, 82, but he does have that elite potential. I think, during the season if he plays well, he should grow. And then fourth line here is actually pretty solid. Zetterlund, Scott Laughton, Yanni Gourde, all these guys are responsible defensively. I'll probably do some conversations, try and boost the chemistry with scheme fit. Same goes to the D here. You got Wallman Jones on that top pair. You got Carlo Lindgren on the second, and then Dumoulin and Shen on the bottom. I should mention too, guys, in terms of like what trades I counted. For me, it was any trades that happened from the Seth Jones trade till now. So like the last week or so basically is what I considered trade deadline trades. In terms of the goaltending, we got Mrazek starting actually with Knight. So, a new Chicago goalie, a former Chicago goalie. Definitely the weak spot of the team. Luckily for us, goaltending isn't too big of a deal. Power play 1 there, I think, looks really good, of course. Power play 2 here, not bad. Chemistry could be better, so we'll try and fix that again. PK-wise, we actually got a lot of solid defensive defensemen. Carlo, Lindgren, Shen. Again, good two-way players. Even Marchand was on the first line, can play, decent defense. So, in terms of the PK, I think we're actually be really good. And just to show you guys how many guys got moved in the AHL, decided to put the 3 leftover players. We got a line there, Michael Bunting, Tommy Novak, who also traded for each other, and Riley Smith. So we'll see if those guys can maybe light it up. And there's also other guys we could have used. There was Kuzmenko, who I left off this team. Defensively, I think Carson Soucy. So again, just tons and tons of movement. And in terms of captaincy for this team, guys, obviously we got Rantanen wearing the C, and we got Marchand and Nelson both wearing A's. Probably the 3 biggest names moved at this deadline. You could also argue for sure, Josh Norris, Dylan Cousins. Those two guys were pretty big names as well. Seth Jones, of course, with Chicago. Now, Rantanen's worn this jersey before with Carolina, so kind of funny. In terms of the ratings, guys, we got 91 offense, 90 defense, 82 goaltending. Coach thinks we'll be a playoff team. Let's see if he's right. All right, guys, so just at the end of the season, I'm kind of shocked, to be honest. As you can see there, we finished the record of 35, 32, and 15, which was not good enough to make the playoffs. I thought for sure this team, led by Mikko Rantanen, was kind of going to be a playoff lock. But maybe it was the goaltending that let them down. Again, didn't think that would be an issue. Defensively, they had good defensive defensemen. We actually tied the Hurricanes, which was kind of funny. The Penguins make the wild card spot, which is kind of crazy. They sold so much at the deadline. We've got all the updated transactions. Curious to see how some of these players did, on their new teams. The Rangers killed it, which usually happens in the sim. Again, on paper, the Rangers are a pretty good team. Atlantic looks fine, actually, for the most part. Central there, apart from the Predators, does look fine. The Preds, again, on paper, they should be doing better than they are. Pacific, the Kraken, I mean, they sold a good amount too. They also get in there. Everybody else, apart from the Kings, I guess, missing, it doesn't look too bad. And now Mikko Rantanen did pop off for us, 93 points. I mean, that's kind of what you'd expect from him. One shy there, 50 goals. Marchand and Nelson, both at 85. So the top line was doing a lot of heavy lifting. After that, yeah, definitely falls off. Cousins, Middlestat, both 50. Norris, just shy. Seth Jones, 36. Defensive scoring leader. Stankoven, 34. Went up by 1 to an 83. I thought he might grow a bit more than that. Bjorkstrand, only 33. Definitely wanted more scoring. Wallman 33 is actually higher than I expected, so that's not too bad. Now, goaltending, wow, yeah, both below 900. Mrazek, I guess 001 below. Spencer Knight there, 892, but I did expect both goalies to play a bit better. And in the AHL here, guys, our NHL line actually popped off. 77, 74, and 64 respectively. Now, in terms of the entire league, Matthews there, 1-0 Ross, 112. Probably Maurice Richard with 61 goals. Point, though, was tied with him. McKinnon, Kuch, 110. Kaprizov, 104. Then Marner, Gensel, Natchez with the Avs had 97. JT Miller there with the Rangers, 95. You got Petey there having a big year. Now, this is our Mikko Rantanen. I'm curious to see the Rantanen on Dallas. Where'd he end up? Okay, so Rantanen on Dallas at 84. Over a point per game. Steven Stamkos put up 84. That is crazy. I got him on fantasy, just dropped him. Of course, he had 12 straight games, no points. I dropped him in fantasy. Now he's popping off. Now, in terms of defense here, Morrissey actually led all D-men, followed, of course, by Makar and Hughes. Those two guys are always up there. Hughes might actually win it just because only 2 less points, but a better plus minus. The best goaltender wins-wise, Ottinger there. Save percentage goes to Shesterkin. Same with goals against, so he probably wins the Vezina. And it looks like he'll have Celebrini taking on the Calder. And then quickly here, guys, I'm just kind of curious. So yeah, the Rangers won the President's Trophy. A lot of teams, wow, 10 plus, had 100 plus. We finished 21st in the entire league, so a little below average. And then Buffalo, dead last, doing worse than like a lot of the bad Western Conference teams. And the playoffs are now complete, guys. The Edmonton Oilers actually win the Stanley Cup. So Jake Wallman there, big addition. I guess John Klingberg as well. McDavid, you know, gets his revenge. We'll take a look at the playoff tree and see what that looked like. Again, very curious to see with all the, you know, the changes to the league. Buffalo actually sticks at 1 and Anaheim at 2. So no changes in the lottery. And now looking at the playoff tree here, guys, you can see the Oilers beat the Canucks in the first round, swept the Vegas Golden Knights in the second, beat the Avs in 6, and then they actually had an all-Canadian Stanley Cup final there with the Ottawa Senators, who they also swept in the Stanley Cup final. Pittsburgh somehow made the conference final. It was actually them in Ottawa, just like 2017, but this time Ottawa got the better of them. Take a quick look here at the awards. So we know the 2 team ones, individually Matthews, Art Ross. Braden Point, though, got the Hart. Adam Fox, James Norris. Okay, interesting. He had Adam Fox, James Norris. That's interesting. He must have had even better plus minus than Quinn Hughes. Kaprizov, Lady Banks, Celebrini got the Calder. Hyman, Conn Smythe. Shesterkin got the Vezina, William Jennings. Lev Shinov, Bill Masterton. Brunette there, Jack Adams. And based on, you know, the team this year, I guess that makes sense. Kopitar, Selke, McKinnon, Ted Lindsay, and then Matthews there with the Maurice Richard. And that's going to do it, guys, for this video. Again, kind of disappointing how the team ended up, but sometimes that's just the way she goes. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, though. If you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.